Fantastic. So now we're just introducing our first competitors for the bronze medal match. Lina Bjorklund of Sweden, who was the defending champion from 2 years ago in Croatia. And her opponent is from Japan, and it's Miyuki Maruyama. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Please forgive me if I haven't. Okay, so they have 2 minutes to shoot their 3 arrows. They can both shoot together simultaneously, and we'll talk you through it as it's going on. And their first target is shot from 20 meters.
Okay, so as John said, 2 minutes, shoot 3 arrows, and we're scoring 6 down to 1. So the very center of the yellow is a 6 ring, and then the next yellow ring is a 5, and then we're working out the black rings are 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Brilliant. So to get into this, they shot a 2-day competition, 24 targets each day. The first day was what they call an unmarked round. So you have to gauge the distance of the target. It is not told, it's not illegal to have a system. You could use your bow to gauge it, arrow points, many different ways. I'm sure John will give us some lowdown later. The next day they shot a marked round again. They were ranked. We did a top 16 eliminator that gave us 8 people, and then 8 went to 4, and then they did a semi-final. So these guys lost the semi-finals, and they find themselves now shooting off against each other for the bronze. Bjorklund shot first. Yeah, okay. So 3 for Bjorklund and a 5 for Miyuki. I'm going to use her first name because I can say it better. So 2 arrows so far. Bjorklund, 4 and a 3. Miyuki takes a second shot. Nice and strong shot there. Second 5 for her. So it's quite an important start already here, John. Getting some distance.
Yeah, that's a great start for Miyuki. I mean, you can't ask for more than to hit the yellow with the first 2.
No. Bjorklund was absolutely dominating in the qualifying days, but struggled once she had a shoot off to get into the last 8 from the eliminators, which is most, and not like her at all. So, and she shot okay in the team yesterday, but nothing special. Well, that's good shooting. Fantastic. So 14 unconfirmed to 11, 3-point lead. It's a good start for the archer from Japan. But John, the next shot. Can you talk about the second shot for the guys today? Because I think this is going to be the big shot today.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lovely venue set out here. The targets look great, and a couple of them are really nicely laid out, high up on the rocks there, making the shots very difficult. There's a couple of great steep shots there. And it's important, I mean, for anybody that doesn't understand archery, just watching for the first time, or even any viewers that are just target archers that are used to shooting on the flat and don't practice field archery, you really need to have a lot of confidence, you need to have a lot of knowledge, and you need to be able to know exactly how the arrow is going to fly, because it's not the same as shooting on the flat. What will happen is that the arrows will fly high when you're shooting uphill. So if you just shot it at the distance it says on the peg, they're going to hit high on the target. So they have to calculate how much distance to knock off to get the arrows back in the middle.
Yeah, and they're not allowed these guys are not allowed any form of electronic device, angle finder out here, are they? So it is using and knowing your own skills and gauging off. You can gauge it. People gauge off their bow or their arm or their you know, they've all got a little system, but it's not pinpoint accurate, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, it's a good solid start from Japan, and
Nice,
again
nice
from
shot.
Sweden.
Yeah. So 40 meters, 60 centimeter face for the Barebow. It's probably their toughest shot, isn't it? I think compared to the 50 on the 80.
Yeah, I think you're right there, John. Yeah, I mean the size of the face and the distance. Yeah, it probably equates to probably the more difficult shot.
Yeah. and that is
And I mean,
steep angle.
yeah, I mean you can see that on the screen now. That's a steep shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. That's a shame. That's a mistake there from the Japanese archer.
Yeah, and you know, in the Barebow division, it's so easy to make these mistakes. I mean, when you see these guys hit the middle, I mean, that's real skill.
Yeah.
It's certainly easy to just have a slight wobble, be slightly off aim.
Yeah. So you point with the sun on, they aim with their point. Oh, great shoot in there from Lina Bjorklund. They use the point of the arrow to aim.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they'll be looking at the point of the arrow and the point probably on the gold, somewhere on the face anyway, certainly.
Yeah.
And that'll be their aiming point. So where we've got the sun today coming in from the right-hand side for the right-handed archers, and it's glinting off the point, you know, that could cause them some problems because you'd get a lot of sort of flaring, you know, a lot of glare off the steel points. You know, it'd be difficult to see where you're aiming. Yeah,
because yesterday I followed a semi-final around, and there was one of the shots in the semi-final was really dark, and the Barebows were like, we can't see to our point to where to put it on the target, and that's when field archery, light in light, dark, can lead to big challenges as well.
Yeah, I mean, normally you hear about the compound archers complaining about the light and the dark. You know, they have their troubles seeing through the peep sight and their magnifying scopes.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought so much about the Barebows not being able to see the point of the arrow on the target.
Yeah, they were all really nervous about it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a bit of a swing target there for Bjorklund. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miyuki started well, but her next two shots were not as good, and Bjorklund saw a chance and took it. So, what target we got now?
So now we're on the bunny targets. This is the 20 centimeter multiple face. So Lina will be shooting at the left-hand side, one arrow in each of the faces.
Yeah.
You have to have one in each. It doesn't matter which one you hit first, but you can't have two arrows in the same face, otherwise you'll lose the highest scoring value.
Yeah. So you'd look at this shot now and you think, oh, it's flat on only 10 meters away, but this is a very small face. It's 20 centimeters across, which is, and it's 10 meters now for the Barebow. So you've still got to be really accurate on your game.
Oh yeah, I mean there's still possibilities to make errors here.
Yeah. So Bjorklund with a possible 6. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks close on our screens, but we can't tell from that side.
12 points, and then 2 5s so far for Miyuki. So
again, she has the chance here to pull back 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, but it's not like in compound archery. It's almost a given they're going to be a 5 or a 6. But in Barebow, that given is not there at this type of target, is it? There you go, string walking there, canting down the string with her fingers.
Yeah, so that's a good point, John. You'll notice here that her fingers are quite low on the string, and this raises the back end of the arrow up near her eye.
Yeah.
And she's looking almost directly down the arrow, straight at the gold.
Yes.
And so on the final target, the long one, which will be 50 meters for them, you'll see her fingers are right up close to the nock of the arrow. They're just underneath.
Yeah.
And then when you see her pull up to full draw, you'll see the nock of the arrow will be much closer down towards her mouth.
Yeah.
That drops the back end of the arrow, effectively lifting the front end that she's looking at, and that'll give her the higher trajectory to get the longer distance. Yeah,
but they still keep consistent knocking point in their tune doing this? Is it?
Well, goodness, I've had many conversations with a good Barebow archer friend of mine about the sort of theoretical best way to tune a Barebow. You know, should you have should the knocking point be flat? Should it be high? I mean, it's always a compromise. Unlike recurve and compound shooting, where your fingers or release aid stay in the same place, and so the line at which the arrow travels and leaves the bow is always the same, and you can tune for that. Yeah. I mean, the art with Barebow is that it's always changing. So when you let go of the string, the top or the bottom limb is pulling more. Yes. One way or the other, you know, depending on where your fingers are, and that can make a real difference and affect the arrow flight. Sometimes you can get really good arrow flight at short range, and it'll be terrible at long range. Yeah. what do? Do you tune it for mid-range? And
yes. Yeah, where are the most points made? That's for me. That would be the thought. Where are you going to make the most points?
Well, I presume you'd probably go for the mid and short range.
Yeah.
And just try to get what you can on the most extreme longest distance.
Yeah. Final target. Bjorklund has a 2-point lead in this bronze medal match, and she's away with her first shot. She's giving a good look at that. So 3, drag to the left with the slope. I noticed this. Again, a lot of the juniors this morning were going left on this target.
Yeah.
I noticed.
They did struggle on this long one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a tough shot. It's quite intimidating looking up there.
Yeah, you're very close to the crowd with this shot, and that's a good shot for in her situation now. It's not as severe as yesterday for the team round, is it? It's still a long. It's more across today, isn't it?
Yeah, they've moved the targets around slightly from yesterday, which is good because it's a bit unfair if you shot the team round. Yeah. To then shoot the individual if your opponent hasn't already shot it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lina Bjorklund has won the bronze medal. Maruyama has a last shot here, but unfortunately there's nothing she can do. But she want to finish with a nice shot. There you go, fingers right up next to the arrow.
So you can just see her using a fingernail there just to count the strands of the string below the knock.
Yeah.
Which will be her sight mark for this target. Well, she got the height right in the end, didn't she? But left and right.
Yeah. I think Bjorklund just showed her experience there in this.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Lina from Sweden, she's one of very many great Swedish barebow archers.
Yeah.
They've produced so many over the years.
Yeah. She's right up there with the best of them. Very good shooting. Very good shooting. So, bronze medal, Lina Bjorklund of Sweden. Fantastic.